The black-eyed children. It was well past midnight when the knock came, slow, deliberate, like it already knew what it wanted. Linda Reynolds, a 42-year-old widow living in a quiet Pennsylvania town, sat bolt upright in her bed. Her dog, Jasper, growled low beside her, hackles raised. She checked the time, 12:47 a.m. Another knock. Linda wasn't the type to be easily spooked. After losing her husband 3 years ago to a sudden heart attack, she'd learned to live with silence and solitude. But something about the knock chilled her. It was the kind of knock that didn't ask permission, it expected to be let in. She pulled on her robe, stepped lightly down the hall, and peeked through the front door's peephole. 2 children stood on the porch, both maybe 9 or 10 years old. One boy, one girl. Pale skin, dark clothing. But it wasn't the clothes or their strange stillness that alarmed her. It was their eyes, completely black. No whites, no pupils. Just endless, inky voids. "Ma'am," the boy said, without moving his lips. "Please. We're cold. Let us in." Linda stumbled back from the door. Every nerve in her body screamed to run. But logic, honed from years of raising kids and working late shifts as a nurse, urged her to think clearly. Children could be in danger. Maybe it was Halloween makeup. Maybe. The girl's voice rang out this time. "We can't come in unless you say yes." That's when Jasper began barking like she'd never heard before, deep, primal, terrified. He backed away from the door, whining. Linda didn't open it. The knocking stopped, but she didn't sleep that night. 2 days earlier, Linda had been helping out at the community food drive, organized by Pastor Emery. The town of Ridge Hollow was small and tight-knit. People still waved on the road and left pies on neighbors' porches. But lately, odd things had been happening. Children gone missing. Power outages at night. Strange figures seen on the roads. Linda dismissed it all as small-town hysteria until that night. After her encounter, she asked around. To her surprise, several others had seen children with black eyes. Some had invited them in. All of them were gone now. She found a name, Margaret Hale, an elderly woman who had once claimed she'd survived an encounter. Margaret lived alone in a trailer outside of town, known to many as the Crazy Witch. But Linda didn't care about gossip anymore. She needed answers. Margaret's trailer was surrounded by protective symbols, drawn in salt, etched in wood, hanging like talismans. The old woman, frail but fierce, answered the door with a shotgun in hand. "You've seen them, haven't you?" she asked before Linda even spoke. Linda nodded. "They came to my house." Margaret let her in. The inside smelled of herbs and dust. Candles flickered. "They're not children," Margaret said. "They're something else. Mimics. Parasites. They feed on pain, grief, and souls. They show up where sorrow lingers. That's why they came to you." Linda felt her throat tighten. "Because of my husband?" "Yes. They smell loss like bloodhounds. That's how they lure you, pretend to be innocent. But once you let them in, they never leave." Linda sat in silence, overwhelmed by grief and fear. She thought about the others. About the ones who disappeared. About her 2 grown children who lived states away, who had begged her to move in with them. She hadn't wanted to leave the memories of her husband behind. But maybe that attachment had almost gotten her killed. That night, they came back. Margaret had warned her. They always return to the ones who resist. They hate being denied. Linda had sealed her doors, placed salt along the windowsills, and lit the candles Margaret gave her. Jasper lay at her feet, watchful but quiet. At 1:12 a.m., the knocking began again. More urgent this time. "We need help," the girl's voice called. "You have to let us in." Linda gripped the crucifix from her husband's drawer. Tears welled in her eyes, not from fear, but from sorrow. She couldn't live like this, trapped, haunted, afraid to open her own door. "No," she whispered. "You don't belong here." They pounded harder. The windows rattled. You don't belong, she screamed. Leave me alone. And suddenly, silence. No footsteps. No retreat. Just stillness. She waited till dawn. When she opened the door, the porch was empty. But burned into the wood in front of the door was a handprint, small, dark, and charred. Weeks passed. The sightings in Ridge Hollow stopped. Margaret passed away peacefully, and Linda attended her funeral, grateful for the old woman's wisdom. The town slowly returned to normal. Linda made a decision. She sold the house and moved to Colorado to live with her daughter and her newborn grandson. Her son visited every weekend from Denver. Jasper adapted quickly to his new home, finally free of the tension that had once plagued him. She began to smile again. Laugh. Cook family meals. Breathe. One night, as she tucked her grandson into bed, he looked up at her with sleepy eyes and said, "Grandma, I had a dream about those kids. The ones with the scary eyes." Linda froze, but her heart no longer filled with terror. She kissed his forehead and said, "If they ever come knocking, what do you do?" The boy smiled softly. "I don't let them in."